Grow a Garden might be Roblox's biggest hit ever, or its fastest downfall. At its peak, this game had over 22 million people playing at the same time. But here's the twist. The bigger the game gets, the louder the complaints get too. And right now, the Roblox community is calling Grow a Garden one thing: pay to win. And at the center of this storm is a name that's quickly becoming the most hated in Roblox history: Do Big Studios. Now, if you've been on Roblox long enough, you've definitely seen their games. They're behind Fish, Blade Ball, A Dusty Trip, and more. On the surface, their story sounds like a dream. A game goes viral, they step in, and suddenly the player count explodes even higher. But every time the pattern feels the same. First, the game is fun, free, and creative. Then, updates roll in. But instead of new content for everyone, they bring new items, pets, or power-ups locked behind Robux. Slowly, what used to be a fun grind turns into pay up if you want to keep up. And here's the thing. Players notice. Every single time. The community turns, the numbers drop, and suddenly that once viral game doesn't feel the same anymore. So here's the big question. Is Grow a Garden about to meet the same fate? Will it go down like Fish, a game that lost almost all of its hype after Do Big stepped in? Or will it somehow beat the curse and stay Roblox's biggest hit? In this video, we're uncovering the truth about Do Big Studios. Who exactly are Do Big Studios? Well, unlike most Roblox dev teams, they don't usually start out by making their own games from scratch. Nope. Instead, they wait until a game is already blowing up. You know, the kind that suddenly has hundreds of thousands of players. Then they swoop in like a hawk, buy into it, or partner with the original creator. From there, they take control of the big stuff. Updates, marketing, making sure the game runs smoothly, and of course the part that gets everyone talking, how the game makes money. One thing's for sure, Do Big Studios isn't going anywhere. They'll keep investing, they'll keep scaling, and their reputation will keep following them. And that reputation might just decide the future of Roblox itself. What do you think? Is Do Big saving Roblox games? Or ruining them? Let me know down in the comments. And hey, if you love diving into Roblox drama like this, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I'm on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and every single click helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. By 2025, the hate was so strong that Do Big actually stepped back from running the game. They handed updates over to a new development team. So who exactly are Do Big Studios? Well, unlike most Roblox dev teams, they don't usually start out by making their own games from scratch. Nope. Instead, they wait until a game is already blowing up. You know, the kind that suddenly has hundreds of thousands of players. Then they swoop in like a hawk, buy into it, or partner with the original creator. From there, they take control of the big stuff. Updates, marketing, making sure the game runs smoothly, and of course the part that gets everyone talking, how the game makes money. Blade Ball, created by Yeti and Chunch Bunch, it's one of Roblox's biggest competitive games. You dash, block, and fight in high-speed battles. Super fun. But once Do Big got connected to it, players started noticing premium crates, pay-to-win weapons, stuff that gave paying players an edge. And in a competitive game, that's the fastest way to make people angry. Then there's A Dusty Trip. You might know it from developer Jandel, the same person who helped scale Grow a Garden. It's a wild road trip survival game that people love. But since Do Big has money in it too, a lot of players are already nervous. They've seen this story before. First it's fun, then it's Robux, then the community flips. And everyone's wondering, is A Dusty Trip next? And don't forget baddies. It's been a popular roleplay game for years. On the surface, it seems safe, but many players list it as another Do Big title. Nobody really knows how much control Do Big has there, but its name being attached at all is enough to spark suspicion. Some Roblox fans even point out something sneaky. Do Big doesn't just buy into random games. Sometimes they grab competing games in the same genre. Like with Fish, they didn't just own Fish, they also invested in its rival, Go Fishing. To players, that feels less like a normal dev studio, and more like a big corporation trying to control entire markets. Like they're building a Roblox empire, why players distrust them. And here's the part that really gets people upset. It's not only the pay-to-win updates, it's the secrecy. Do Big almost never says how much of a game they actually own, or how much control they really have. Are they just investors, sitting in the background? Or are they the ones deciding what gets added to the game? Nobody knows. But here's what players do know. Every game Do Big touches ends up leaning more and more toward Robux spending, and that pattern alone is enough to make people nervous. It's like a cycle. A game gets popular, Do Big steps in. Robux spending ramps up. the community gets mad. And because of that cycle, players are suspicious of any new project Do Big is tied to. Even if the game looks fun, they're already asking, when does the pay-to-win start? Here's the wild part. Even with all the complaints, even with all the backlash, Do Big Studios has actually helped Roblox break records. Wait, what? $1,400 for a virtual pet? See, that's more than a PlayStation, an Xbox, and a Switch combined. And here's the kicker. Kitsy isn't even that powerful. It duplicates crops every 20 minutes. Cool, sure, but it's only slightly better than the raccoon pet, which is way easier and cheaper to get. So why would anyone spend that much? Well, that's exactly why players are upset. To them, it doesn't feel like a fun grind anymore. It feels like gambling, throwing huge amounts of Robux into eggs for a tiny chance at something that isn't even game-breaking. For many fans, the Kitsy pet was the red flag. The moment that said, uh-oh, Grow a Garden might be sliding into pay-to-win. We need to look at another game. Fish started as one of the most relaxing Roblox games ever. It was made by a single dev, Woozy Nate, just one guy coding on his own. The game was simple. Grab a rod, go fishing, catch something rare, and show it off to your friends. No pressure, no paywalls, just fun. Players loved it. At its peak, Fish had over 800,000 people playing at once. That made it Roblox's #1 game. Imagine an entire city's worth of people all fishing together at the same time. But then, Do Big Studios bought in, and slowly things started to change. At first, it was small stuff, but before long, a new NPC showed up on the island, an egg salesman. And what did he sell? Eggs that cost Robux. Then came special bundles and boosters that gave players big advantages. And some of the rarest items were locked behind grind walls so huge that free-to-play players calculated it would take years to get them without spending money. Suddenly, Fish wasn't about relaxing with friends anymore. It was about who could spend the most Robux. And players noticed. Big time. The numbers tell the story. Fish dropped from 800,000 concurrent players down to just 20,000. Still a lot, sure, but compared to what it once was, that's a massive collapse. The backlash was brutal. Forums, Discord servers, even Roblox YouTubers. Everyone blasted Do Big for turning what used to be a fun fishing game into, well, a cash machine. But here's the twist most players don't realize. Do Big Studios isn't just some Roblox group sitting in their bedrooms coding games. They're actually connected to a real-world company in Florida called Mobile Game Advertising and More Incorporated. Wait, what? That doesn't sound like a Roblox studio at all. It sounds more like one of those companies that sells ads and runs businesses. And honestly, that's exactly how they act. Their whole pitch is basically, let us take your Roblox hit and scale it to the next level. And sure, on paper, that sounds awesome. Who wouldn't want their little game to become the next Roblox mega hit? But here's the catch. Scaling always comes at a price. And for players, that price usually feels like this. The fun, creative part of the game gets replaced with constant reminders to spend Robux. It's kind of like if you had a favorite toy store where you could hang out and play with all the toys for free. Then one day, a big company buys it, and suddenly every toy has a price tag. You can still play, but only if you pay. That's how a lot of players say Do Big makes their favorite games feel. By the summer of 2025, Grow a Garden wasn't just a Roblox game, it was a phenomenon. Picture this. In July, nearly 22 million players were online at the same time. That's not just big, that's the biggest live audience in gaming history. Bigger than Fortnite, bigger than anything we've ever seen. Even news outlets like Reuters and PC Gamer were talking about it. But here's the thing about games that get that big. Sooner or later, new people want a piece of the pie. And that's exactly what happened. First, developer Jandel, who you might know from a Dusty Trip, bought into the game to help it grow even faster. And right around that same time, Do Big Studios showed up. Now, Do Big didn't buy Grow a Garden outright. Nope, they just grabbed a minority share, becoming one of the financial backers. But that's when players started noticing changes. The clearest example? The Kitsy pet. At first, it just looked like a fun new rare pet. But here's the problem. Kitsy is hidden behind an insanely tiny 0.08% drop chance. That means, on average, you'd need to hatch around 1,250 eggs just to see one. And how much does an egg cost? 149 Robux. So, if you're keeping track, that adds up to about 186,000 Robux, or nearly $1,400 in real money if you're buying and